Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Today for you, I have a scrapbooking layout. About once a month, I do a scrapbooking video. I am not a scrapbooker, I'll be totally honest. I have 1 year almost done for each of my girls, and they're both in their 20s, or almost in their 20s. And I'm just more of a card maker. Card making is my jam, and that's what I love, but I'm trying to step outside my box because Stampin' Up! Has some wonderful new scrapbooking items for you. They are all listed online, and so I have my website is thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net if you'd like to check that out. We do have online exclusives, so I definitely recommend that you go check out the website because there's all sorts of goodies there. We just released a whole bunch of new online exclusives, and we have our scrapbooking brochure completely online. I haven't even taken a look at it all yet, but I definitely need to go do that. If you are a paper catalog lover like me and you really want to have a copy in your hand, please feel free to get in touch with me. If you don't already have a demonstrator that you're working with, I'll be happy to get you a catalog. And we have these beautiful brochures right now. Our spring mini catalog just debuted at the beginning of the month. We're in January 2025, and it runs through April. And then our celebration incentive is just January and February, so we have just over a month left. And what that is for every $60 or $120 you purchase out of either this catalog, online, or our annual catalog, you get to pick something out of this book for free. So we have lots to pick from: stamp sets, designer series paper, sequins. You'll see some of those later. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. All right, so let's talk scrapbooking. So this is our layout for tonight. I can barely fit it on the page or on the screen, but we're gonna do our best. Bear with me. So the side panels here are an idea from the Lazy Scrapbooker. That's probably my speed, is easy peasy scrapbooking. But a friend of mine shared this idea with me, and so I decided to try it out for a page. So I'm using that idea for our side panels, and then the rest of the page layout is my own. And it's really just a springboard. So I really want you to learn how to do the side panels and then do whatever you want on the rest of the page. It's just kind of to inspire creativity and give you an idea for a new layout. I know I'm always looking for new card ideas, and I'm sure scrapbookers are always looking for new pages. So it's really just to kind of get your creative wheels turning. The stamp set I am using tonight is from our new spring mini catalog. It is called Lifelong Friends, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. When I first started putting this together, this is not at all what I thought it was going to look like. I picked the paper and the colors, and I was thinking spring flowers, and then this stamp set caught my eye, and I thought, you know what, I could see going to the flower market with my girlfriends, and so these stamps I thought were perfect for that. And we have some lovely friendship sentiments here. So my camera angle is a little different tonight, so I apologize that it's a little different and it's bugging me, but let's get ready and roll. So I'm going to show you first the technique for the side panels, and then we'll quick put together the rest of the pages. So to start with, you need 2 pieces of complimentary 12 by 12 cardstock. I am using 1 piece of Pretty Peacock and 1 piece of Berry Burst. So I thought these went together, and they also went well with my designer series paper, which we'll talk about in a minute. We're going to cut a panel off of each of these pieces. So we're going to cut each one at 3 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to bring that over. There's very little cutting to do tonight. So each piece at 3 3/8. And I always usually double check because I'm paranoid. Once we get down to these 1/8 of an inch, I'm always worried I'm going to cut them wrong. So 3 3/8 there. Okay, so you'll have 1 large and 1 small panel of each paper, and we're going to set that aside for a moment. And then the next thing you will need is 2 pieces of coordinating designer series paper, or DSP. I picked these 2, and these are actually from our celebration brochure. I don't even have the name quite down yet. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Bloom Impressions. I was thinking Irresistible Blooms. So partially right. This is 12 by 12 paper. You can see this lovely colors here. So I'm just using 2 pages from that, and this is free with a $60 purchase until the end of February. And so what we're going to do, these are 3 by 11. So I cut 1 inch off the bottom and then a 3-inch strip. And I'm going to stack them together. I'm actually going to take a paper clip and put one near the top and one near the bottom on the opposite side in hopes that I can keep these together. Holding them is never going to work. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make 3 angled cuts while the paper is stacked together. So I'm kind of going to zigzag until we have 4 angled pieces of paper. So let's see. I always try to do this wrong every time. So there's one piece. And we're just going to move the paper, shift directions, shift it down a little bit. Be careful with your angles. I keep wanting to make really long angles, which I think would look very odd, but we're kind of going for geometric chunks. And let's see. I'm going to have to remove that last paper clip. But there we go. Wow, it almost looks like I cut them exactly the same size, but that's okay. All right, so that's all the cutting we're doing today. So what we're going to do first is take these strips of cardstock, lay them out, and we're just going to take 1 piece from each stack and put them together, and then you're going to alternate the patterns. And so I like to just lay them out because otherwise I'm prone to gluing them in the wrong order. And then I'm just going to grab, you can use any adhesive for this. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. Liquid glue might be better for these corners, but I don't feel like getting messy this evening. You're going to leave about an 1/8 of an inch maybe border around the edge, and then leave an 1/8 of an inch or so in between your pieces as well. What I think is fantastic about this idea is you can obviously use it for any season. So if there's something you might be struggling with, an idea or paper to use for a specific purpose, this is great because you don't need a lot of paper. And you can obviously pull your paper to match whatever your occasion is. I'm thinking this would be fun for Christmas with different holiday papers. If you have some sparkly papers, that might be great for New Year's. All kinds of things you could do. Birthday, like fun prints, you could do a great birthday layout with this. All right, so there's one panel, and we're just going to do the same thing with the second panel. Thank you for bearing with me while I get these together. I do try to use the first one as a guide for the second one, so that way my borders are about the same. These are going to end up on opposite sides of a scrapbook page, so it's not like they're going to be next to each other. Although you could definitely put them together in the middle of your pages if you so chose. But since I'm going to use them opposite, it wouldn't be that noticeable, but I am kind of a stickler. I found I'm a bit of a OCD crafter. I like my straight lines and even borders. So I just kind of do my best. All right, one last panel. And then I'm going to show you how we put this together. So once this last piece is on, what we want to do is kind of weld this panel to the rest of the scrapbook page. Now, we're not going to match the colors together, we're going to flip. So the berry burst is going to be attached to the panel with the pretty peacock. So the other panel I'm going to set aside, and let's see, I want this one to go over here. So the Lazy Scrapbooker used a half strip of designer series paper. I'm kind of wanted a little more stability, so I just grabbed a scrap piece of cardstock. This is 12 by 12 and it's 2 inches wide, so I'm doing more than enough, but I really wanted it to stick together. So what I'm going to do is I have these arranged the way I want them. I'm actually going to flip them over, and I know it's silly to flip over that berry burst, but it works with my brain. And I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus. Yay, it works. Oh, nope, stop. See, I jinxed it. This glue has been persnickety for me tonight. And now it's not going to work again. Oh, I'll have to have a talking to with that later. If you've watched me before, you probably know my glue is famous for acting up while on camera. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the strip of cardstock and I'm just going to line it up at the top. I don't measure it, so it's exactly an inch, but I definitely want overlap between the two. Then I'm going to flip it back over and put glue on the edge of, actually, I'm going to probably put the glue over here. You can put the glue wherever you like, whatever suits you. But what I do here is if I put the glue here, I can just nestle these up against each other, make sure they're even at the top and the bottom, and press. And if you have I have a little bit of that gray sticking out, I'll come back with scissors and just trim that off. But you can see this is nicely welded together. It's really not going anywhere. And then I'm ready to start my layout. So I'm going to glue the other panel together so that that portion is done. And this one I want over here. So same thing, flip another strip of the cardstock. And I am using a good bit of glue because I don't want these to come apart. We're going to see how far I can stretch my glue because I'm down to my last refill. And of course, that's the one that is not cooperating tonight. So we'll see. Okay. So there we are. This is just a great technique, and it's a really quick and easy way to get 2 pages started. All right, so we have our 2 pages. I'm going to set just one to the side, and we're going to start working on the layout for this one. And this is going to go together pretty quickly because I pre-assembled a lot of it. So what we're going to do is we will have on this page, see, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Before I do any layouts, what I want to do, it's a little hard to see on camera, but I added some tone-on-tone stamping to the pages. I didn't do a great job with this one, so I'm going to try to do better with this. But I'm going to use a floral stamp from that set, the Lifelong Trend set, in the color of cardstock. That's what I mean by tone-on-tone. So I want some of these to show behind the photos I put. So let's see, I'm gonna put a little extra here and we'll see how I do. I'm gonna clean that off because I'm gonna come back to that with a different color in just a little bit. But we're going to lay 2 6x4 or 4x6 photos or journaling boxes and mats. So the photos I was thinking of putting on will be 4x6, and so the mats are just a 1/4 inch bigger, 4 1/4 and by 6 1/4. And obviously you could do one large photo, you could do a bunch of small photos. You're not nailed into this layout. I really just want to get your creative juices flowing. Then I pre-cut and colored one of the images from the set, pulling together all the colors that coordinated. And so we're going to arrange this in just a minute. So what I'm going to do first is put down our larger photo mats. I think I did a little bit better with my stamping here. And then what I want to do is add a label. So the labels I'm using tonight are from our Paper Pumpkin add-on sets. If you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin, you could check it out on my website. Paper Pumpkin is our monthly creative kit in a box. It's a sweet little box that comes all packaged together. It has everything you need to make cards or treat boxes. Most of the months are cards, but we do throw in some treat boxes or sometimes home decor pieces. Everything assembled for you. It ships right to your door, and you get to keep the ink spot that comes with it. It's got dimensionals and glue dots, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a surprise that comes each month, and you can assemble the projects or use them for other ideas. But we have an add-on die set that coordinates with usually 3 months at a time. I keep mine in an empty stamp case with magnet sheets put inside. So this is from the end of last year. Actually, maybe with spring. It might have been earlier in the year than I was thinking. But I like to keep, I can keep 4 sets in here at a time, and they're just fun. Like this tag was great at Christmas time. And there's the word Merry. It had a cute little fern. But I'm using the 2 labels and this butterfly. So you're not tied into just using the Paper Pumpkin products with Paper Pumpkin. You can mix and match with your stamping or your scrapbooking or card making. But that is where my labels come from, but you can obviously use any shape or punch that suits your needs. So the first sentiment I'm using is "Here's to lifelong friends." I'm stamping that on this label right in the center with my pretty peacock ink. And then this is cute, but I felt like that was a lot of white space on the label itself. So I'm going to flip this over here for a second. I have pulled out my Pretty in Pink ink. It was kind of a pink that went with the color family. And I cleaned off that floral stamp, and I'm going to use it again. But I want to stamp off so it's not quite so bright and drowning out my words. Could probably even stamp off twice, but let's see. There we go. You can kind of see how it got fainter as I stamped. That's called stamping off. But that way it just adds a little something to that tag. Not so much white space. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is attach the tag to the photo, but I want, if I don't necessarily keep this page, if I give it to a friend, they can remove this piece of copy paper because it's just tacked down with some removable tape runner. It's kind of like a Post-it note. I'm going to attach the label so that they can still take this piece off and glue their photo down without having to rip the label off the page. So I'm going to do that by using dimensionals just placed very carefully. So I'm going to do a couple of these mini ones. I happen to not have any of the larger ones on my table at the moment. And I'm going to put them on the bottom and side of the label so that it does not interfere with the photo. I can still move this paper. And that's why I have the labels on, in case I don't end up keeping them. People would know what my intention was with the page. Okay, so this is a 3 1/4 inch square, and the image itself is stamped on a 3-inch square. I largely put everything flat on the page except for the labels. I'm gonna put that here. I'm happy because I can see that little tone-on-tone stamping I did. And then I have the die-cut butterflies from that Paper Pumpkin set. I love it because it's the outline of the butterfly and then the wing detail as well. And I know I don't need a lot of height to a scrapbook page necessarily, but I can kind of fluff the wings a little bit so they do kind of raise off the page. And obviously they would flatten back out if need be. But I just thought this was a fun accent. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of the butterfly and just pop this down here at the bottom. And then to finish, I mentioned those celebration items earlier that are free with a $60 purchase this month. These purple adhesive back sequins are one of those items that you can pick. We also have ribbon and stamps and the paper that you saw. So my Take Your Pick tool is what I use to put all my adhesive backed bling on. So I'm just going to pop a sequin right there in the middle of that butterfly. Hopefully you can see. So this page is actually ready to go. So now I am just going to quickly change over to the second page. I'm going to start by doing the same thing with those, the background stamp, or not the background stamp, the floral stamp, but this time with Berry Burst ink. So I'm going to just stamp a little bit here. There we go. I'm adding some extra one more up there. We'll call that good. Okay, so same thing, just adding journaling boxes and photo mats. So there's another 4x6. And then this panel and my other printed image are matted on 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and the box itself is 3 by 4. Pardon me. So again, quick and easy. Since I still have my ink open, I'm actually going to add one more flower bunch right in here so I can see it a little better. Then again, my glue just might make it, we'll see. I'm gonna start with this one. I tend not to get a ruler out and be super precise with my layouts here, but obviously if that is your thing, by all means do it. And you are always welcome to share your ideas with me. If you hop over to Facebook at The Faithful Stamper, that is my page there, and you can share your ideas and creativity with us on the page. All right, one more label to put on this page. So here's the other one. The sentiment this time is, I couldn't have picked a better friend. I really thought that went well with the floral paper. I decided not to do the pretty in pink on this particular page. But again, I am going to add the dimensionals so that I can put a photo in there later. So I'm just going to pop a couple dimensionals across the bottom. And then our butterfly, and then this will be done. So I hope you enjoyed learning this quick and easy layout. There we go. One more butterfly, this one in Pretty Peacock. This is one of my favorite Stampin' Up! Colors, and it just pairs beautifully with our Berry Burst. Let's see. There's my glue dot. This little guy I'm going to put up here. And one more sequin right in the middle. And then, just like that, we have our 2-page spread done. So, here we go. There is our Lifelong Friends easy bordered scrapbook page layout. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning this technique. If you have not already subscribed here, I would love to have you as a subscriber, and you can click the notification bell. It'll give you a little ding every time a video is posted here on the page. And as I just mentioned, if you're a fan of Facebook, you can hop on there and look for The Faithful Stamper. That is where I post a lot of my cards, some challenges from time to time, different specials that the company has, and just more information there. And I would be happy to have you as a friend on that page. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.